Hello and welcome back to the Snappiness YouTube channel. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. Today is a rainy day, and it's been rainy and cloudy for a couple days, and I haven't really been able to take any pictures. I know some of y'all out there have complained about this in those countries where you live where this happens a lot. In Texas, it's usually pretty sunny, so this is unusual for me. I'm stuck indoors and I'm thinking what I can make a video about, and I realized that I still have yet to talk about this lens. This is the Ricoh GW-3, and it's a wide-angle conversion lens for the Ricoh GR I and II, the aps-c models 2013 and 2015, or whenever that was. And it's an awesome lens. I'm going to talk about, is it even a lens, how it handles, the build quality, and of course the optics. And then maybe if you're thinking about getting one, this will help you. Alright, so first off, is this even a lens? I know that conversion lenses that you add on and screw on to the filter ring of your lens as an attachment kind of have a bad reputation. At least they did for me for a long time, because the first ones I owned were just generic, some cheap something brand that you could attach to any lens. They weren't really made for any particular lens. And the effect was cool, and it was fun to play with and grow in my photography that way. I think I had a fisheye one and then a teleconverter one. But optically they were terrible. But conversion lenses, high quality conversion lenses, are a totally different game. And after buying this lens about a year ago, totally changed my mind about them. And little lens converters like this are not unique to Ricoh at all. In fact, all major brands have done it before or currently do it for their cameras. Fujifilm has a couple that they currently make. And back in the day, a lot of the camera manufacturers had fixed lens camera systems, and this was their solution to give you some more range or less range, more wide angle to your camera system. For instance, my Olympus E20, which I have a video about on my channel, had several converters, and they were high quality. The optics were great. And you added them like you would another lens on an interchangeable lens camera system. Canon has done this, Nikon has done this, Sony does this. So this is not unique to Ricoh. You just see it less and less now as we moved more into the interchangeable lens space, and that sort of became the norm. So there's two reasons why I think this lens and other high quality attachments are totally different than those cheap Chinese Amazon ones. And one is the material is obviously way better. This is actual optics made from actual lens engineers. And then two, they designed these lenses for specific lenses. So when you bought one of these, for whether it was for the Olympus camera I talked about, or whatever camera, the Fujifilm you can buy nowadays, the Sonys you can buy nowadays, or in this case the Ricoh, the designers designed this piece of optic to match with this piece of optic. And so because they've done that, and because it's come from actual lens engineers, the optics are incredible and they work. So do not fear, do not compare this to cheap Chinese whatever brand things, generic ones for whatever lens. Totally different thing. Okay, next I want to talk about why 21 millimeters. So this is a 0.75x converter, taking the 28 millimeter equivalent to a 21 millimeter equivalent. And I don't know what the actual focal length is. I'm just thinking of equivalents here, but you could do the math. So why did they pick 21 millimeters? Because to some people that might seem a little bit strange. Obviously it's wider, but why 21? Well, Ricoh has an interesting history with 21 millimeters. A history that I don't know a lot about. But they do have a film camera, one of the film GRs. One of them came in a 21 millimeter lens, a 21 millimeter f3.5 lens. And that's a highly sought after and fairly expensive camera today. Also, there was this other lens for M39 mount that I'm not too aware of, but I saw it in my Google searching, and it was also 21 millimeters. Not sure how related it is to the film camera version. In any case, 21 millimeters full frame equivalent is in Ricoh's history, it's in their heritage, and so I think this one just kind of is a throwback to that. So it's kind of cool. Okay, next I wanted to talk about the build quality of this lens and how it works. So the build quality is excellent. It's metal, it's strong, it's actually quite heavy. It weighs the same or more than the camera does. I'll put the actual weight on the screen. But it's a heavy piece of glass. We'll talk about that later with handling. But yeah, excellent quality. You can tell that this is real optics in here, real glass. So great build quality, does not feel cheap at all. On the front of it, it has a 62mm filter ring. I hope I'm saying that right. Maybe not. So you can attach filters to the front of it. It also comes with this little rubber hood that you can put on, which honestly is kind of annoying. It's a nice rubber hood. It's not too cheaply made. It's just annoying to take on and off, and I feel like I'm always, yeah, I just gave up on that unless I really need it. So how it works, you have your Ricoh GR and you have to buy this little adapter thing. Now I talked about in my Ricoh GR accessories video that you can buy these adapters, brand new, they're $50 from Ricoh. So try to buy them used. If you can't find them used, you can 3D print them with this. There's a 3D printed one with a little step-up ring for the filter ring part. And that worked great and is super cheap. So you could also go that route. But in any case, you're going to need one of these and you attach it. You'll have to take off your little decorative ring around the lens on your Ricoh. And then you slip on the filter adapter, and this is how you would add filters traditionally to your Ricoh GR 28mm equivalent lens. But this also allows you to add the 21mm converter, so you go ahead and screw that in. And then here's what the camera looks like with the 21mm converter lens attached. And then the last step would be to go into the menu system, and you can change to say that you are using the conversion lens and just set that there. And what that's going to do, at least for my GR, because mine's the original GR, is it's going to set the EXIF data correctly. For the GR3, which also has a 21mm conversion lens you can buy, the GW-4, it might also change how the image stabilization works. I'm not 100% sure, but I would imagine. So anyway, so you'll just have to adjust that, and you're good to go. Okay, next I want to talk about handling. And this is probably the biggest reason why somebody would not want to buy this lens, besides the price, which is maybe the highest reason. It's an expensive lens. But the handling, let's talk about that. It is quite heavy. Like I said, it's the same weight or even heavier than the camera itself. This little adapter doesn't weigh anything. It's just cheap plastic. And so what you have is extremely front heavy. It just always wants to tip down. That doesn't mean it handles poorly. I think the GR has a great grip, so you can still one-hand it just fine. It's a little on the heavier side. But what it does mean is both the size and the weight, mostly the size in this case, mean you can't pocket it, which is a big deal when probably the biggest selling point, in the top 3 selling points, and why you own a GR most likely is because you can pocket it. And by pocketable, like really pocketable, one of the most pocketable cameras, the most pocketable aps-c camera. Well, there's actually a few others, but they don't make them anymore. And this totally ruins that, so you can't pocket it. And that's why, even though I love this lens, I don't actually use it that much, because I'd rather use the camera as is, vanilla, slip it in my pocket. But sometimes I'll bring this and throw it in the backpack, and then if I see a scene that I think would work really well with 21mm, it doesn't take too long to take it out and put it on. Okay, finally, and probably most important to most anyone who's looking at buying this and paying the money for it, is the image quality. And I'll throw up a few examples on the screen. The short of it is that the image quality is excellent. And you may have heard this already, but this lens It just acts like a wider version of the excellent lens that is already on the GR. And we all know that the lens on the GR is fantastic. It is unbelievably sharp, wide open, corner to corner kind of stuff, just amazing. So it feels the same. It still has a really high corner to corner performance, even on the wide, with the wider angle. The sharpness, and especially in the center, is awesome, even wide open. Maybe the only deal is you're going to have increased flare because of that wider element on the front. You're going to kind of invite that a little bit more, but honestly, it's not a huge deal. And because I find this rubber hood so annoying, I actually shoot it mostly without this, and I've not had any serious problems. So that's it. That's my thoughts on the Ricoh GW-3, or the GW-4 is the Ricoh GR III version. And it's an awesome lens. I think the only reason why people wouldn't buy it is it's expensive. You might not use it that much, so is it worth that? And then it kind of totally ruins the handling of the camera. So, but if you're worried about optics, you shouldn't be. Optically, it's a fantastic lens. Hope that was helpful. Thanks for joining me here today. If you're looking to pick up this or on the used market, or pick up the new GW4 version, check out the links below in the description. You'll help the channel out, help my work, and it'll be no additional cost to you. If you stop by the Snappiness forum, it's where a lot of happy photographers like to hang out and chat about a cool gear that they're using and share their photos. We would love to have you. This week I've been showing off my new Ricoh GR with some funny 3D printed adapters that I've been working on. So go there to check that out. We'd love to have you and hear what you're shooting and see your pictures and talk about that. Remember to go out there and shoot with whatever gear you have right now, wherever you're at, even if it's raining, still try to go out there and shoot. I guess I'll go do that right now. And until next time, happy snapping.